Hi, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn about conditional operators in Python. In the last video, we learned if-else blocks and how you can add simple conditions like greater than, less than, or equals. But you can also use conditional operators in order to combine multiple conditions within a single if statement or elif statement. Let's see some examples of that. I'm going to switch to our IDE and create a new file, and I'm going to save it as conditionals. Last time we saved something like conditions. I'm just going to call it conditionals.py. Let me just add a quick comment in there to show what we're going to learn. We're going to learn about and, or, and then not. So those are the key conditional operators that can be used in your conditions. Let's just go ahead and define a few variables. So I'm going to define a equals 10, b equals 20, and c equals 30. Now, if I want to find out if c is greater than both a and b, I can do something like if c is greater than a and c is greater than b, colon, print quotes, c is greater than both a and b, else print c is not greater than a and b. Let's save it and run it, and we got the output c is greater than both a and b. Here we used the AND conditional operator to combine multiple conditions. This is different from the last video where we just added one condition to if and elif, right? Here, as you can see, we can add multiple conditions, and the more important thing is when you use an AND, only if this condition and this condition is true, this entire thing will resolve to true. Both of these statements or conditions will need to be true in an AND for the entire condition to be true. Otherwise, it's going to be false. What do I mean by that? Let's change this condition to check for b, right? If b is greater than a and b is greater than c, we'll just say b is greater than a and c, or we'll say b is not greater than a and c. Before we run it, let's just quickly see what we're doing. We have three variables defined. We're checking if b is greater than a and b is greater than c. We're going to say b is greater than both a and c. Else, we're going to say it's not greater. So let's save it and run it. Now we got the output b is not greater, which is this message. Because b is 20 greater than 10, yes, so this is true. But then 20 greater than c, which is 30, which is false. So this resolved to true and false. And when you're using an AND operator, only true and true will resolve to true. True and false is going to be false. That's why Python did not execute this block and it executed this block. Let's quickly copy this and paste it here and change this to an OR condition. And I'm going to change this to display something like this. So here we're going to check if b is greater than a or b is greater than c. We're going to display b is greater than either a or c, right? Else we're going to say b is not greater than a and c. Again, b is 20, 20 greater than 10 is going to be true, but then 20 greater than 30 is going to be false. When you say true or false, let's see what displays. So again, save it and run it. B is not greater than A and C. We got this displayed, right? But when we ran this one, we're getting B is greater than either A or C, which is this one. So that's the difference between an AND condition and an OR condition, where for an AND, both conditions need to be true, whereas for an OR, if either of them are true, that's good. Now again, we just did this for an example purpose. When you just look at this statement, it might be a little bit misleading because B is greater than A, but I just put these statements to just show you the difference between an AND and an OR for the same number and same conditions. By just changing an AND to an OR, you can see how the blocks execute differently. For this one, the else block got executed, whereas for this one, this if block got executed because of the OR. And finally, there is a not conditional operator, and you just do something like if not A equals 10, print A equal to 10. This might be really confusing, right? But I'm going to explain. Let's run it. Nothing got displayed. Let's see what happened here. A is 10. We're going to check A equals 10, which is true. So ideally, we should have gotten this displayed, but because of the not, this whole thing changed to false. That's what not does. Not basically negates the result of this condition, right? So when this condition resolved to true, not true, so it negated to false, and when it's false, the if block will not get executed. So that's how not functions. Not is in many cases very confusing for people that are reading the programs later. So you should very sparingly use a not. I just wanted to show the usage of not for completion purposes here. When we're learning conditional operators, you should at least know how not functions. A not is basically used to negate the result of the condition. So it can be really confusing for people that are reading the programs. But I just hope you understand how not functions, because that was the whole purpose of going through this example. Not basically negates the result of the condition. So those are the conditional operators. The two that are commonly used are AND and OR. So I highly encourage you to do several examples of that, so you can grasp the basics of it and where they are used. And I hope this video was useful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.